Jen, so nice to meet you virtually. I'm
Hi,
gl-
John.
how are you? Thanks for agreeing to do this. I know we live, a little bit farther away, so it's just better to do this first instead of meeting and driving all the distance and then whatever. But I mean,
No, it
I
was a
don't know.
great
Thanks for
idea. It was a
yeah.
great idea.
A lot of people, I've asked like 17 people to do this, and only like three have agreed. So
An
uh,
online meet and greet?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. A lot of women just don't want to get on video. They don't think they look good. I don't know what the
Kind of
deal
embarrassing.
is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, hey, it is what it is at the end of the day. But I mean, you seem great. You seem awesome. I loved your profile.
Thank you.
It was one of the better ones. I actually read the profiles. I'm like that guy who reads the profiles. I don't just look at the pictures. I mean, I look at the pictures, but then I read the profile. I
Do
do read the
you really?
profile. I
Yeah.
do. I swear I do. I do. I'm that guy. I am that guy, and I loved your profile and what you said about being authentic and all that. That was so awesome. I just I was really swept away by it. So,
Thank you. That's very nice of you. And you're handsome. So,
well,
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you. It's I got good lighting
How
going on right now.
how old are you again?
Uh, did you not read
You're
my profile?
I did. You're 62.
I'm
You don't
62.
look 62. You're yeah. I would
Thanks.
yeah, you don't look 62.
I thought you were gonna look a lot worse for your age than you do. So, I
Do I look like my pictures?
uh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, even better, really.
Oh, I hear that a lot, that I look better in person than the pictures.
Yeah, I mean, and this is really in person, but it's like video is still different than pictures, is it not?
Yeah, yeah, it's different. Yeah.
It's like I want to see the way your mouth moves and the way your face crinkles up when you talk
Oh,
and
that's
things
kind of
like that.
creepy. I don't know. Are you saying you like me or you don't? I mean, I don't.
I mean, I just you're animated now. You're coming to life. You're not just pictures. That's what I'm saying. So,
I don't. Yeah. Are you looking for a relationship? I don't know if that was a compliment.
oh, that was a compliment. Yeah, very very much so. That was a compliment. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't quite gotten a compliment like that before, John.
Well, I disguise my compliments sometimes. I just kind of because it's not
Are you,
just here it is. It's like, hey, it's you kind of have to like dig a little bit for it sometimes.
well, and I know you said you saw this, but I'm pretty authentic and forthcoming. So I'm just wondering, do you ever just give compliments just openly, or are they always buried in kind of a pile of whatever?
I think
I
I
don't feel like that was a compliment. So
didn't. I just say that you looked way better than your pictures. I think I said
yeah,
that.
I don't know. There was a hesitation though, so I don't know. I didn't feel like it was a compliment.
Wow. Well, I think this is going great. What do you think?
Yes, I think it's great. I think it's
Yeah.
great. Hmm.
So, I mean, tell me about. I mean, it says you got 8 kids. That's a lot. That's But I mean, like, how do you
That's kind of
manage?
a compliment. Are you judging me?
No, I'm just saying that's a lot. Like, you must be, very occupied with your children. I would think.
That just feels like a judgment. I don't know. I mean,
Wow.
I, yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm just trying to be
Is that a
straight.
compliment too?
I mean, good for you for having 8 kids. That just seems like a lot. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
So I'm kind of confused. I mean, you knew that before, getting on this meet and greet with me, and I feel like you were trying to compliment me, but now I don't know if it's a compliment or not. And I
It's
might
not a
not.
deal breaker. It's not a deal breaker for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done this. I mean, 9 maybe, but like 8, I'm
Okay.
good. I'm
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
looking for a partner, and I mean, my kids have their own daddies, but my partner's got to be with me and understand the whole situation.
Did you say daddies? Like in plural? I mean,
Uh,
how many are we
is that
talking here?
is that a compliment again?
No,
Very.
I'm just asking, trying to figure this out here. What are we talking about here? Like,
You know what? I'm not so sure that this is going to be a connection because I'm not feeling. I'm not just. I just don't. I just don't feel like this is a good connection. I don't like the compliments buried in a pile of shit. I mean, I'm not getting compliments out of this. I feel very judged.
wow.
So
Well, I was really digging the vibe personally,
yeah.
but
If you want to go to dinner tomorrow night and we could try to meet each other face to face, maybe things are a little different.
yeah, we live several hours apart. So, I mean, do we want to do that? Or do we want to just say, like,
No, forget it. You're right. Forget it. I don't want to do that. Okay. No, you're right.
yeah,
I'm offended. So,
right.
hey, you know what? Really good luck to you on your journey.
I think we should be friends. What do you think?
I don't think that doesn't feel, no. Mm-mm. No,
No?
but thank you. I wish you the best of luck.
All right. Well, geez, I still dig you, but hey, it's okay.
Yeah, I don't feel that way. But okay, thanks. Maybe you can go dig somebody else with your, compliments buried in the pile of shit.
I'll work on that. Thank you. Thank you for that feedback. I appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
Bless.
Bye-bye.
Yes. Have a blessed day. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Naked Truth. This is my lovely co-host, Jen, a.k.a. Shen. Gat, how are you doing, Jen, today?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me, John. How are you?
Great, great. That was an uncomfortable role play. Just, feeling like, all right, I'm getting rejected here. Like, that was not comfortable for me. I could just say that as a man. I could just say that and be okay with it.
I was uncomfortable with how kind of sparring I was. I was like kind of stirring the pot. That was just so not who I am.
Well, no, not at all.
Right?
Yeah, not at all. Well, you did a great job. You did a great job if you're, I was playing some guy who was kind of like saying some jerky comments, not like beef jerky, but like jerky-ish comments. I was like that guy trying to like just say some not so subtle, probably not great things. And
And
I
you
think,
did, yeah. Yeah.
well, that was my goal. And I thought you handled it well, maybe. Yeah. Maybe you kind of, took that and kind of were reacting to that.
Was I snarky enough or kind of?
You would, yeah. I was feeling like, okay, I dug myself a hole here. I need to get out of this.
There you go.
But you wouldn't let me out. Like, I feel like I'm still trapped in the hole. Still.
You're out now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you met that guy? I hope you haven't.
Wow.
I don't think I've met that girl before, so
Not with
yeah.
me.
So we're opening the show today with a little role play, as you probably just, I hope, gathered from that, and kind of a scenario, what a first meeting might be like, or I hope in yours wasn't like that, or nobody's was like that, but kind of incorporating things that maybe you have encountered from here or there, and one of those kind of video dates, because video dates are becoming more and more popular, like especially with people who don't live in the same city. They want to get on and they want to do the video thing and just make sure, like, hey, let's, before we get in the car and drive and whatever. So I mean, do you think, Jen,
have eyes on somebody?
do you think that's a good idea, Jen? First of all, do you think that's something you should do? Because not everybody likes that. Some people just like, you know what, we're just gonna. Somebody said to me, he's like, nope, don't want to do that. If there's going to be any cringing, I'd rather have it be in person. That was that quote.
Ooh. No, I think it's great actually, because I'm, people have, you kind of, when you go on dates, you've carved out time to see this person. And really sometimes when you're not feeling the vibe close to the date anyways, you're like, oh man, I kind of want to cancel, but that's not cool. So I think it's so much less of a commitment to do the video and then you can kind of get an idea of what somebody's like. Yeah, no, I think it's great. I've done, FaceTime or, here and there, but I really haven't done it that much. I usually try to do a phone call to weed it in or weed it out.
See,
along with
yeah,
along with their background history that I do, as you know.
right. Yes, I do. Before we go further, I want to just tell everybody this is the Naked Truth Podcast. You can find us on YouTube at Naked Truth 9999. That's 4 9s. You can find us on Instagram at the Naked Truth Podcast. That's the Naked Truth Podcast. And find us anywhere podcasts can be found. Apple, Spotify, the whole deal. So, all right. The phone call thing, you could get a good vibe from somebody on a phone call potentially, but there's nothing like face to face. And I think video really comes closer. We're both therapists. We've done virtual sessions, right? You can still kind of, feel things through virtual. Nothing is as good as in person, of course, but the phone call thing, I don't know. I feel like I can get along with anybody, and I can have a great conversation with almost anybody. I just feel like phone call is unless they're going to say something that's just going to be completely jarring, and I'm like, whoa, But I think the video is you can see all the mannerisms and maybe see if there's any kind of attraction, whatever. I haven't done a lot of it. Like I said, a lot of people don't want to do it, but I think if people are willing to do it. Do you think you look as good in video as you do in person?
I wouldn't be the one to judge that. You could tell me. What do you think?
You're just great. You're great everywhere, but
stop. Stop.
No, I would say
probably in person.
I know you, but see, I know what you look like in person first, and now so it doesn't matter what you look like on video because I already have that in my mind.
Yeah.
I know what you look like. But if I hadn't met you and I just had seen you in video first, I don't know if I'd put the complete, package together like watching somebody in person or seeing somebody. I don't know. That's just kind of.
Well, I think definitely. I think the video, you're right with the mannerisms, and you can kind of see. You're not looking directly into somebody's eyes, but you see their mannerisms. How they're dressed, where they're at. But I know the phone call is because it's usually after work in the evening, and I don't want to be FaceTiming somebody. I am in the office most of the day, so I come home, and I'd much rather lay in bed and talk to somebody than have them see me with my hair up in a bun and in my pajamas. So, but no, I think the FaceTime is really good, especially if you're in different cities or different states, for sure.
I would like you to come on this podcast with your hair in a bun one time. I'm just going to put that out there.
I will.
I want to see. I totally want to see that. so
I have a male friend who would say, "You're not going to wear that mom bun, are you?"
Mom bun, right.
Yeah, they're not cool, but sure.
So let's talk about one of the things. Let's debrief that a little bit. The role play scenario. I said something about friends, and you in the role play said, "No, I don't want to be friends," but so often everybody's like, "Yeah, I just think friends. I'm feeling friends," and they don't mean it, right? Yeah. It's just, why do people do that? Why do people just say, "Yeah, I'm feeling friends," or "I think we should be friends," and that there's no intention to follow through on a friendship at all? What is that about?
The soft landing, probably. I think it's giving a soft landing versus saying, be friends is softer than there's no connection. Be friends is kind of like a ... Like you can string it out, But you said to me once that there's a lot of women you find that don't, that people will say they want to be friends, and that, as you're saying now, and they don't maintain it.
Right.
And I actually have found that at this stage in life, I was, I was married for 25 years, and I didn't have male friends, really. I had male colleagues and, but not male friends that I'd go to lunch with. So I actually love being able to develop male friendships at this stage in my life. I think we have cultural, you know, structures that don't allow for that when you're in a committed relationship, thinking that it's going to be an affair or something. And I understand that. But I actually, when I say I want to be maintain a friendship, and I don't say that very often, I think it's great. It's really just kind of opened my life up to all of these, a whole section of the population that I wasn't able to be friends with before. So I think it's really cool.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I enjoy having female friendships, and generally speaking, a friend is going to be in your life longer than maybe a potential partner, right? I mean, dating comes and
Well
goes, and
said.
relationships. Yeah. So, and for me personally, I'm not good at people coming in and out of my life. That just doesn't work for me. So, I'd rather have somebody in it for the long term, even if it's just a friendship. And I get a lot out of a friendship. I get a lot of my needs met, and in the social interaction, and learn a lot about women, and all the things like having female friends. And I have a lot of female friends, right? So it's, to me, it's great. But a lot of people, like, I got criticized or somewhat yelled at because they're like, you're just on these apps to make friends. And I'm like, no, it's just, I'm particular. And she was, upset because I don't know why, but I'm guessing because I didn't feel the same way towards her, potentially. But yeah, it was just like, yeah, you're just on here to meet friends. I'm like, no, that's not true, first of all. But I have met a lot of, friends on the apps, just because I've met a lot of people. And so if you meet more people, they're going to have a certain percentage of those are going to be friends. And so I think, like, I don't go on there to meet friends necessarily, but it is, for me, like a needle in a haystack kind of situation. Right? I mean, the fact that you're going to go in, meet somebody, sit down with, for an hour or two, or whatever it is, and this is going to be your person for life, that's a needle in a haystack, in my opinion. And that's how I go into it. I go into it like, I'm excited I'm going to meet a really cool person. Like with you, I was like, I knew I was going to like you. I just knew I was going to like you from the beginning. Just the way you interacted. We had a couple phone calls.
Yeah.
Right, and you were just super real, and weren't afraid to put stuff out there. And I was like, all right, I don't know if this is going to be a romantic connection, but like, I know, like, I want to be friends with this person at least, And then we met, and we became friends. So I think that
And I
was kind of
thank
cool.
you for that. I mean, it's because of all of the men that I've gone on dates with, I don't think any of them have maintained friendships with me. And I don't think it's a construct that we really appreciate. I think there's this normative belief that men and women can't be friends, and I think it is possible. So I think I love that we have become such good friends, and I thank you because I think you're the first one that's really embraced that. And I really appreciate it. And my life is richer because of it. I tell you all the time, thank you for opening me up to things like this, the podcast.
Right. Well, great. I'm happy you feel. I just feel like good people are hard to find. Like, they're just hard to find. I'm not like an all or nothing. Like, yeah, I want all of it, and because things can be hot, flame out, burn, and then poof, you're gone. And I think so. For me, like, I'm happy just being friends with somebody, and I mean that when I say that. It's just like, yeah, I don't really expect to find the love of my life on an app. I mean, if it happens, great, but if it doesn't, fine. And I also knew it's not going to be instantaneous. It's probably going to be something that builds over time. That's just not how I've worked that way in the past, never served me well. But these days, I'm like, let's spend some time together, let's hang out, whatever, let's just see where this goes. It's just not an instant thing for me anymore.
But do you really think here's another question that just you posed. Do you really feel that there's one person that's going to be the love of your life, your everything, your soulmate?
Probably not.
Yeah,
Probably not. I'm not saying 100%. It's
But I
just
think you
like,
can have
yeah.
multiple soulmates. I think you can have multiple people that you love that come in and out of your life at different times.
Yeah, yeah. Do I feel like there's one person forever? I mean, it can happen because people have done it,
Yeah.
but it's so so rare. And I think maybe for this part of my life, like there's a certain person that's gonna be great for me, and maybe when I down the road, maybe we're not great for each other anymore, And I think sometimes things run their course and all that, but I do think people they talk about forever and they talk about one person for
Hmm.
forever kind of deal, and I'm just like, great if that happens, that would
Hmm.
be awesome because then I don't have to date anymore. That would be nice, right? So it'd be like that would be awesome, and maybe that will happen. I'm open to it, but I'm not expecting it, and that's I think people go into these dates with those expectations. There's no way anybody's gonna live up to that. No way. Like, because I could like, all right, do I want to live with somebody who says that word in a weird way? Is that going to bug me in like 9 years down? Or what? I mean, you could just psych yourself out, like thinking like you could just put somebody under a microscope and rule everybody out on the planet.
Yeah.
So it's just like when people. This is kind of a weird analogy, but since I work in this field, it's people like who are 21 years old and say who are struggle with drug and alcohol, and they're like, I can't ever take drugs or alcohol again. That's a big pill to swallow, no pun intended. But it's like, let's just try it for this period of time. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how much I like my life, and then we'll kind of, it's like you can't just say that forever word is
Yeah.
daunting, right? And I think it's so much pressure to put on somebody. There's nobody in this planet who I could just meet once and say, yeah, this is it forever.
I can't
Nobody.
even imagine. Yeah. Which is why, and you know me as a friend, I say I'm never going to get remarried. It's like, I mean, I think I'm not looking, I would love to have a partner, but is that partner going to be forever? Is that partner going to be, I mean, yeah, I just think, I don't know, the older I get, I feel like, I don't know, were we really meant to be with one person for 70 years? And I think you put a lot of responsibility on that person to be your everything. And, so my journey is really bringing me to, am I my everything? Because if I'm my everything, then I can have somebody else come in and be a beautiful, you know, ancillary part.
Yeah, and we're kind of getting into the relationship part, which is fine because I think this will probably be the last episode on the online dating. And, we may have little pieces here and there, but I think we're going to move towards relationship, more stuff in our future episodes. I think we talked about that this morning. So those are great. Those are great comments and points for sure. And the forever thing is daunting. And I don't want, even if somebody said to me, I think you're my forever guy, that would freak me out. Like, I'd be like, that's a pedestal to be like put on, and how do I measure up to that, and all those things. But I think a lot of what I feel, I like a lot of women particularly want the security, right? They want that security, especially at this age, whatever that means. I don't even know what security means in that sense. I mean, I think I know, but like, is that financial, emotional? Like, hey, if I start looking older, is it, you going to stay with me, or are you going to go off some younger,
Mm-hmm.
younger lady or whatever it is? I mean, there seems to be a lot of that going on, but like, yeah, I just feel like that is a big thing, that security piece. I mean, and for others, I don't think that's. I think we've talked. I don't think that's a
Mm-hmm.
thing for you, but I think for a lot of women it is. But can you tell this from your girlfriends, like, what do you think that security means to them?
Well, I don't have a lot of single girlfriends, but from other women that I hear about and I talk to, just kind of in my field, I think a lot of it has to do with. And this is just my perspective. It probably is very influenced by where I am in my life right now. But I think they're women that haven't. Many of them haven't built themselves a life, They haven't built themselves a job, a career. You know, they've put a lot of their identity into the household, the children, being a wife. And so I think they do want the financial stability. And side by side with not building a career and a life of their own outside of being a mother and a wife, I think that is the emotional security that they look for too. Is this is all I know. My kids, my family, my husband. This is my kids, my family, my husband. My kids, my family, my husband. And so they think about, well, what am I going to do if, you know, who am I going to go on vacation with? Who am I going to do holidays with? Who's going to help me if I get sick? And it's like, so for me, that goes back to learning about yourself and building yourself before you go to get somebody else, because going in with the expectation that I need to find somebody for security, financial or emotional, that tells me that you're not whole in yourself.
Right, right.
And maybe that's a judgment. I don't mean that as a judgment, but I just think as humans, we're always evolving and trying to learn about ourselves and make us evolve and to be better, more equipped adults. And that feels like you're looking for love in all the wrong places for certain things. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense. And I like what you said about like being a solid, having it together, loving yourself first before you make that step. And I would guarantee you most, and I mean a lot, you know, more than most, do not, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's where we come to this, one of our other topics we want to talk about is emotional availability. But I kind of explain it because I've worked with a lot of young adults, and they're in that I'm looking for my person kind of thing, and which is cool. So they're like, they just want, like, I'm just, next girl, and the girl conveyor belt here, just like bang, 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 and it's just like nothing's fitting just correctly. And this is how I explain it to him. I said, imagine you are like a cake that comes out of the oven, right? And put it on the counter. Somebody comes along and takes a piece of that cake. So now you're this cake with a missing piece. No icing. I said, you're spending all this time trying to fit your missing piece with somebody else. You're trying to put somebody else in there to make you feel whole, right? And nothing just fits exactly right in that, that's that missing piece space. So what you need to do is you need to fill in that piece with yourself. So then you're a whole cake, no icing, but a whole cake without icing, still pretty good. Right. And then the other person that comes along is the icing on the cake. Makes it a little sweeter, right? But you still got a whole cake even without the other person, right? So that's how I explain it to them.
And the other person is just the icing on the cake.
That's correct. That's correct. And it's like, too much icing, that's not good sometimes, right?
Icing with no cake.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you can't stomach that forever.
If you don't have the foundation, the cake, the whole cake, and I think a lot of people come out of relationships or situationships or whatever, and they're not emotionally available. How do you know? And this is a question from one of our listeners. How do you know if somebody is emotionally available? What are the signs? What are the questions to ask? Any thoughts on that?
Well, and I think we talked about this a tad bit in the beginning, the first podcast, but emotional availability first comes in terms of being available physically to do things, to talk, to set up a date. So that's the first sign for me that you're emotionally available. If you're too busy to even schedule a date, which I can be guilty of, but if you're too busy to even schedule time to meet up with somebody, then you're not really emotionally available. Or if you meet up with somebody and then you don't have the time to talk, it's like I was saying on the first podcast, the writing is on the wall. People are telling you what they're telling you through their actions. So I think that's the first thing, is you have to be physically available to schedule time and see somebody.
Agree 100%. That, if I had to pick one dating pet peeve, is that whole busy thing. It's like, if you are too busy to return a text within a day, let's just say, right? Like, get off the apps, please. I've got a couple more of those. If you have pictures that are only old pictures of yourself, please get off the apps, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But what about, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but what about people that put pictures and they say they're 59 and they look like they're 70? So that's a mismatch too. Like, you put recent pictures but the wrong age.
Right.
Or you put old pictures and the right age. Like, let's just have them line up and do the right thing and put pictures that represent who you are today with the right age.
No, absolutely, 100%. I think people think that it just, once they get to know me, it won't matter. It won't matter what my picture or my age says, because I'm awesome and like, but that's just not a way to start. It's not a good way to start off any kind of, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, a dating ship, whatever it is. That's not a good way to start. It's just not with not being honest, right? I mean, that's a foundation of everything, is honesty. And if you can't be honest, then please get off the apps. That's what I'm going to say. The other thing is, if you're looking to fill a void, right? Like, I'm feeling lonely because my boyfriend and I broke up for the 8th time. Get off the apps, please.
Yeah.
Do us all a favor. I feel like there should be some screening. There should be some online dating screening that you have to go through, right? We could start that business. That would be perfect. And then, create our own app, and that way everybody who gets on there, you have to go through this rigorous screening process. We're going to interview you. We're going to just nail down, and we're going to call the app Vetted. That's what we're going to call it.
Oh, I like that. But you know what, John? Nobody would come to use it because I would want to know people's, early family history. So who's gonna? I mean, as a psychologist, it's like, let me vet you that. I want to see what's under the hood.
But I think people would pay, because then you're kind of like, you could rule out all of these things that we've already ruled out for you. So everybody who gets through the process is gold. Like, it's just like everything's going to be a gold nugget, right?
Gold nugget. Mm-hmm.
I love it. I think we should do that. That's our next thing. If we disappear from this podcast, it's because we've started Vetted, the dating app.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Apparently there's dating apps out there that you have to be recommended by 2 other people, and they say it's harder than Harvard to get in. I mean, there's a lot of gimmicky shit out there. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, no, I was going to say, we were talking about the age thing and the pictures, and I was going to say that so if you listen to the last podcast, as you know, John, I do like a background app, and I, here's your phone number, and I look it up, and, gives your name and your age. And so, one guy, I said, you're not 58, you're 64. And he was like, yeah, I just do that just so people, because I feel more like I'm 58 than 64. I'm like, I don't care how old you feel. You're 64, dude. And I think he was like 67. But it's like, and then I said, why would I go out on a date with you when you've lied about your age at the beginning? It's like, it's so bizarre. So back to your point of, just be authentic, be honest. I don't know. Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, I think we need to answer the question, how do you know if somebody's emotionally unavailable? So I would ask a series of questions. When was your last relationship? Right? How did that end? Just a little bit about that. Mm-hmm. And if somebody isn't willing to talk about that, because that was another question from one of our listeners, was, when is it too soon to disclose personal information? To me, if you're going to meet me in person, like, I'm a big believer in just throw it down. Like, throw it down. Like, put your cards on the table, just throw it down. And so I'm trying to assess if you are emotionally available or unavailable. Mm-hmm. And there are so many people on the apps that are not emotionally available. So I would kind of start there, like, hey, when was your last relationship? Are you ready for a
Yeah.
relationship?
Mm-hmm.
And most everybody's going to say yes, but to say, okay, well, what does that mean? Like, to your point, do you have the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to, make a commitment? Can we see each other next week if this works out today, or whatever? Like, how much time do you really have to put into a potential relationship? Some of those questions and asking them, and and I think just how they communicate, like.
Totally.
I think texting is so, it is important because, like, if you don't get a response for 3 days from somebody, to me that's a rule out. Like, I get things happen and life happens and whatever, but I'm saying in general, right? And I need to I'm a communicator just like you are. Like, we're both, like, I love to just do that banter back and forth, have some fun. Have it, kind of light and fun and flirty, and that's the other thing. Like you got to be able to have fun with the person. Like, that's how
Right?
it should start. It shouldn't be just all this serious stuff. Like, you got to be able to laugh and things like that. So, the unavailability is one of the biggest topics that people ask about all the time, and I think there's no magic bullet to figure it out. Like, the only way is just you're gonna know is just go for the history that could tell you something. Somebody just got divorced 3 months ago, and they're coming out. And I have had so many women try to convince me that, oh, we were in separate bedrooms and we were there. I go, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry, it doesn't. And I know you were lonely in that relationship, and I'm sorry about that. But you don't get over 20, 25 years in a few months. You just don't. There's
For
so
sure.
much to process, right? So I think, like, use your instinct. What is your instinct and your intuition saying? Is it saying, I don't care what the person is saying. Is it saying, I'm not buying this? Like, and I know not everybody has, maybe trust or intuition, but
Correct.
every time I don't listen to mine, I kick myself later. That's all I can say. Like, sometimes I just I should have listened to myself,
Yeah.
So,
But I
yeah.
think you're right. I think it has to do with the quality of the responses too. I mean, people that gloss over things, or they, blame if it's a divorce situation or an ex-boyfriend, and they blame them, and you can already see in their communication, well, yeah, I have a lot of resentment towards her because, she really ruined my life. It's like, wait, I mean, you were there too. What part of this are you going to own? And I'm not saying that the other person, didn't do A, B, C, and D, but even in just that communication style, I start to see how emotionally they are available in the dyad, but how emotionally authentic they are with themselves too. And so then I'm like, he can't even be honest with himself. How is he going to be honest and open and available for me?
Yep.
It's I just see that right away in terms of just the pattern of communication or lack of communication, and how they talk about situations.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, it is difficult. It's difficult to assess. I mean, I've been fooled many times, and I'm a therapist, right? And I'm sure maybe you've been fooled, like, thought somebody was, really sincere or really meant what they said, and then you find out later that maybe that's true. But I think a lot of people, don't know themselves well, I would say. And I think a lot of people who don't want to put it out there. And so I think they're trying to put their best foot forward. I want to put my worst foot forward. I'm just going to put you're going to see this every day foot, right?
So
Like,
what
if
are you gonna burp and like?
yeah, if I'm going to, like, pick my nose, I'm going to pick my, I'm gonna, like, this is what you're going to get for the next 50 years, right? It's like,
I think
and I
you
have,
gotta work to charm them a little bit first, and then let all that hang out.
but that's everybody's complaint. It's like, hey, remember when we first met? Remember how you did this and you opened the door and you did that, and now you don't do any of that stuff like, I don't want to be that. I just want to be like, Mr. Joe Average from the day one and day, 10,000. Like I'm just still that guy.
So just Joe Average the whole time, or are there any sparks of like being?
Yeah, you might get a Joe above average here and there. You know.
I wouldn't say you're average, but okay.
But you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to present of anything else that I am or I'm not. Like I'm just gonna. It's like so authentic. Like it's gonna blow your mind off. The like. You know, I'm not going to put on anything like pretend like I'm going to do this or whatever. Like, I'm just going to be myself. And if that doesn't, work for you, then it's probably not going to work for you. I'm not going to like, here's some honey, get in my trap. And then I'm going to be like, I'm going to take it all away. Now you got this deadbeat.
But there might be a little bit of a slow rollout, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I feel like somebody can see if you get me or get you, like somebody's going to see it, right? No matter what, see whatever, like say like, all right, I can see through some of the words and I can see like there's somebody with a good heart or like is super loyal or whatever, like you can see it, like no matter what the words are saying. I think like I just feel like there's I think the right person will like kind of see through that and get you or get me or whatever. That's what I feel.
I was thinking about rolling out, not your authenticity, but rolling out your bad habits kind of slow versus just all out there.
Right,
like,
that's true.
I have a mouth on me.
Yeah.
And
well,
so,
do you have bad habits?
I have a mouth on me. Yeah, I just said I have I can be a sailor. And so I try to like be mindful of that. And when I first go out on a date, and if I'm going to like roll that out, it's like, I want to slow roll it. Like maybe, I don't want to be offensive. I don't think it's offensive, but some people don't like that. And so,
but that's you. If that's you, then I think we talked about this.
We
with
have.
This last time.
I know.
If that's you, like that's what I'm saying. Like, so you scare them away. Guess what? Great. Then they're not the right person.
Yeah,
period.
I know. You keep pulling me back to the center.
Yeah, just like
about being authentic.
That's what I'm.
I think I am, but I just think I'm aware of like. I think that's the one really bad habit I have is my swearing.
There are worse things to have.
You're right.
Yeah. But I would be like, if you drop a few F-bombs on a first date, then so be it. If that freaks somebody out, goodbye.
Yes. But you're saying that you put it out on the table. Like, I mean, you're not going to go in and like pick your nose and like, snort your snot down the back of your throat. And I mean, you're not going to do that right away, are you?
I might. I just think I'm going to be as relaxed and myself as possible because here's the thing. I've been duped many times, right? I've been like, oh, look at this shiny red car over here. It's so nice. And like, it's only $10,000. Just buy it here. And then you're like, oh, right. Oh, I can't wait to get in there. And you get in, you hit the gas and like things chugs. And it's just like you open up the hood and it's just like all these wires going everywhere. It's just like,
that's happened with women.
Oh my God. So many times. Yeah, like I feel like the person that I thought I knew or that I met was not anything like the person that they ended up being.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I don't think I do that for sure.
No, you don't. You definitely don't. But I think like there are those who just they want to put this persona out because they want to be it's alluring. Right. And it is alluring. Like I've fallen into that, and so I'm like, wow, she's great. She's awesome. She does all these things. Right. I mean, and if you don't see something that I'm not going to say you don't like, but it's just like, you're just like, and then in the first 3 dates, that's a red flag. Nobody's that perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody. So there should be things you like and things you don't like and all that. And I have a friend who just fell so quickly and so hard, like 24/7, 365, right from the beginning, pretty much, basically. And it was just like, I go, is there anything about him you don't like? No, not really. I'm like, okay, you are blind. You are
And are they still
absolutely
together?
still together.
Oh, are they married or just partnered
No,
up?
just partnered up. It's been about a year, a little over a year. Yeah, and hey, if it works for him, great. But there is a thing called codependency. That's all I'm going to say, right?
Oh,
There is a thing.
sure. We could do a whole episode on
We
codependency.
could
Eventually.
absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. All right,
Styles of attachment. Okay.
yeah, style of attachment. That's right. That's my thing. Or what about your love language? Like that could be
Yeah.
a thing too.
Oh, good. But those are
I think there should be more than 5. I've got like 5 more, but whatever.
yeah.
All right, so here's another question from Tina, who says, I've noticed that dating can feel so transactional these days. How do we bring more authenticity and real connection back into it? And that's kind of a little spin of what we were just talking about, right? The authentic part and transactional piece is just like, hey, you do this for me, I'll do this for you kind of stuff. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's I think it's great to do activities that are fun versus like go on a hike. I mean, you're great at that. Go on a hike. Go to a farmer's market. Go to an arcade. Do something that's interactive and fun versus and I'm guilty of it too. I mean, there's not a lot of time. There's not always an opportunity to go do something fun, but I think it gives you a better ability to connect with somebody versus just in, out, here's a drink, same questions, gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be my sense.
I would say it takes 2 to be transactional, right?
Well,
So
yeah.
if you go in and you just be non-transactional and you just be this real human being, and the other person is trying to be transactional, it's not going to work. It's not going to, it takes 2 to tango, as they say. So I would say, again, comes back to being you, being your whole you, being authentic, being real. There's not enough out there. And, what she was talking about there is that's what's mostly on the apps. I mean, if you think about, if people really, really, really wanted a partner, I mean, really wanted a partner for the right reasons and they were grounded, are you going to put 30 seconds of your time into that by swiping on something on your screen? Or are you going to take more time, out of your day, maybe an hour, maybe so longer, and do it a little bit differently? And I think it's been so convenient. It's been made so convenient.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem, is that people just, oh, it's fun, it's a game, it's whatever. Let's see how many likes I can get. Let's see how many people, they're not really serious, right? Or there's other people just looking for hookups. I mean, there's a lot of women profiles that say no hookups, which I applaud, right? Great, good for them.
Do women say that? Okay, that's interesting.
A lot. I see that. I see. That's probably the most common thing I see is not here for a hookup, whatever. But what I would say is okay, if you're not here for a hookup, good for you. Get on something else other than an app on your phone.
Yeah.
There are other things out there, eHarmony and some of the other computer-based ones where you're not limited to a certain amount of characters. On the thing, and put more.
Have you been on eHarmony?
No. Have you? Oh, bad. Okay. Well, okay, maybe not eHarmony, but maybe something. I've had good luck in the past on Match. I haven't done it for a long time, but Match.com. It's kind of the gold standard, and so I don't know. I mean, I think it depends on the area you're into. I think different things work in different places. You just have to ask around, ask your friends, things like that. But yeah, so that's what I would
Back to
say.
the question, though, I also, have
Yeah.
a friend who described the apps as almost like a slot machine. And if you go back to psychology, that kind of intermittent reinforcement that you get with a slot machine, you keep putting the money in because it's not once, it's not twice. You don't know how many times before you get the money. It kind of is addictive, and I feel like the app is kind of that way too. It's like you might just. I find myself even sometimes like I'm just kind of bored, or I just kind of like
Right.
and it becomes more of there's so many no's that when you get a like, oh, that's kind of interesting. It's almost like a little dopamine. So I feel like
Yep.
it's a reinforcement of and obviously, of course, they've built them this way to get people to purchase and go on the apps. But it works because I feel like, why am I even doing this? Like I'm not even I just find that it's rote memory of doing something.
What percentage of people on the apps do you think are authentic, whole, emotionally available? All three of those.
Oh, I think that's the same as most of the population. I mean, I think you could take that out of the app. You're saying the app, but I think
Yeah.
I would even expand it. I would say, geez, first of all, I don't know if there is anybody who meets all of those criteria because we're human. I mean, available, whole, and authentic.
Let's just go. Let's just go available, emotionally available. How about that?
Emotionally available, maybe that's a higher percentage. I'd say maybe 45 to 60%.
I'm saying 10.
Really?
I'm saying 10. And let's talk about let's define emotional availability. In my
Yeah.
mind, what it means is you are not carrying any dragging along baggage. Everybody's got baggage, but not dragging it along. Maybe you have it in your closet locked away somewhere, but you're not actively dragging it, that you actually can give your heart to somebody, that you're in a space where you can do that, right? And that you're ready to kind of, be vulnerable. That's a big word, that vulnerable word. Most people don't want to be vulnerable, right? And this goes back to the whole laying your cards on the table thing. It's just like that's vulnerability, like throwing it down. So I would say, 10 or less would be my number. And that would even be high from what I have seen. I think a lot of people think they are, but then they take a step or two and like, you know what, I don't think I'm ready for a relationship or whatever. I think that happens a lot. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think let's look at all of society and who out there is really done, but I want somebody who's done their work. I mean, we're all doing our work, but who has done some of their work, right? And I just ruled out 90% of everybody right there just by that. It's like,
True.
So
Sure.
so that's why it becomes this needle in a haystack thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's because of all those reasons.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure. I think you're right that people think they're emotionally available, and I don't think they are. And I think the bigger rule out for me is authenticity and vulnerability, because I don't think that many people can be authentic with themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe in the very small corner of their mind, there's a little bit of, but they just kind of push it away. I don't know what to do with it. So that for me is a big one. And I had a relationship with a guy who I really liked. And I kept saying, when are you going to unzip? When are you going to unzip? When are you going to open up? I mean, 6 months. Didn't happen. And so I'm thinking he's not capable of it because he doesn't do that with himself, or he's, I don't know. But that's, I don't think a lot of people can be authentic with themselves, let alone somebody else. There's just too much fear.
Right. And we haven't even talked about really communication. We touched on a little bit, but the ability to communicate where you are, where you aren't. And I think you're right. A lot of people want to feel like they're emotionally availability because they're lonely, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to be alone. And I think that's a huge piece, is that people are not comfortable with just being with themselves. Like you said, and there was a large part of my life where I was that person, and I know what that's like. And I know I need somebody, so I'm just going to grab whatever I can grab, whatever agrees to be grabbed at that point in time, right? Metaphorically speaking. And so I think that is a huge, huge piece, right? Is just being comfortable with yourself, without anybody. And that doesn't mean people's like, I don't want to die alone. I don't want to die alone. It's like, can we not worry about how we're going to die? Let's worry about how we're going to live, first of all. And then, on top of that, let's talk about, hey, let's come and say, live in the most authentic way we can. I just think like we just spend too much time of just thinking about how we're going to die and not how we're going to live. So I think that's a big piece right there.
I agree. And I also think, we frame things in a lot of the negatives, like I don't want to die alone. I don't want this, versus framing things in a way of what we want. Like, no, I'm waiting for, to find my somebody I really connect with. We're always fear-based in terms of not wanting to not have something. And the other thing I think is, this keeps coming in my head, is, and I lose it, about being alone. What was I going to say?
Well, let me say something while you're thinking about that, about the alone. To me, dying without a partner does not mean dying alone, right? This is where
Correct.
community, friends, right? We're not alone, right? Yes, we don't have somebody living in our house with us and, a romantic partner, but, we have friends and all that.
Correct.
And that should fill you up, a good amount, right? And so, relationships, as we're going to get into in future episodes, it's pros and cons, right? It's not like, if I just had a relationship, I'm good. Everything's going to be great. That comes with its share of, issues too. So
sure.
It's not a solution to everything.
Well, and what I was thinking is we all have parts of ourselves. Like you said, at one point there was, a time where you were fearful of being alone. And I know there's parts of myself that come in. There's been times I've been fearful of being alone. But because we're human, we're dynamic, I feel like sometimes I'm more able to let go of those parts of being fearful, but then other times they kind of sneak back in. And so it doesn't mean that I just try to be aware of where I am, what I've learned, and to not repeat habits. And those things do sneak in, though. They sneak in and you go, wait. Am I doing this because I want to be here, or am I doing this because I don't want to be alone? So I guess my message is to myself and to other people is that's okay. Recognize those parts of yourself. You're human. Know that you've worked through them in the past. If you see them creep back in, recognize it and let it go. But it's not like it's all or none when we deal with our authenticity and what we want. I mean, we're always, composed of all of these parts.
Yep. Well said. Beautifully said. So, hello, everybody. I'm John, and this is Jen. I don't think we introduced ourselves. And we have this podcast called The Naked Truth. And thank you for listening. If you've made it this far, I appreciate it. Just want to remind you that YouTube, if you want to see us in person, at Naked Truth 9999 on YouTube. Instagram, it's @Naked Truth Podcast. Subscribe, like, comment, all those things that you've been told a million times to do. Just do it. Just do it. And we will see you again. We're getting into the holidays, so we're going to try to maintain we're kind of trying to do every couple of weeks schedule here. We're getting into the holidays. I think Jen is going off to somewhere. So we're going to keep trying to stay on that track. But thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I think it's just been an amazingly wonderful episode. What do you think, Jen?
I think it's got some highlights for sure.
For
I'd
sure.
like people to write in topics they'd like us to discuss. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Put some comments. I think everybody knows how to comment. I think our audience is smart, and I think they know how to do the comment. A lot of times people don't want to just put something in public. So if you just want to email us, you could email us at thenakedtruth2021@gmail.com. That's what you could do. And only Jen and I will read that. We won't make fun of you, we promise. And we might even read your question on the air or just give you credit for your topic if you would like that, or you can remain anonymous. That's just the kind of people we are. So we're always thinking about your feelings, and always remember to keep exploring your naked truth. We'll see you next time.